forever there. God, you make me totally complete, yeah, yeah. You're the reason that I smile. You make me smile. Every day, everywhere, yeah. By my side, constant kind, make me high. Make me high. That I smile. If you take the time and listen to what they have to say in point of view, you'll doubt all that he said. Yeah, he answered every prayer, and he'll always be there. God, you make me totally complete, yeah, yeah. You're the reason that I smile. You make me smile. Every day, everywhere, yeah. By my side, constant guide, make me high. Make me high. That I smile. Make me smile. You make me smile. And what you do makes me smile. You're the reason that I smile. God, you make me totally complete, yeah, yeah. You're the reason that I smile. Everywhere, by my side, constant guide, make me high. The reason that I smile. God, you make me totally complete, yeah. You make me totally complete. You're the reason that I smile. Yeah, yeah. Every day, everywhere, by my side, constant guide, make me high. The reason that I smile. Oh. Everything discussed. Oh Lord, don't so much behind the scene. Everything discussed on this show originated as public information. And my commentary, even y'all commentary down there in them comments, y'all be some kind of mean is given about what has been said or done by you that's on this here show. We ain't do it, you did it. If you hadn't did it, hadn't got out, we won't have nothing to talk about. No. If you don't want to be discussed, then guess what? Don't do it, or make sure whoever you do it with don't have the mind to go into publications on social media and talk about it. Then we won't have nothing to talk about. All right, let's go ahead with the show. Yep, you're locked into the LarryReidLive show. This is Monday night, and on Monday nights, we have our main show. And normally I do trending topics and talk about everything I done posted all week long, and we just go back and forward, open up the lines and go ham. But that's not the case, because there is something that I feel as though I want to talk about the entire whole show on tonight. And that is Bishop Victor Couzens, who's the pastor of International. Hold on a minute now. What is the name of the folk church? Is it International and Inspirational Baptist or Bible Church over there in the Cincinnati, Ohio? So that's what we're going to be talking about on tonight, because let me tell you what happened. What done happened is two of their members done came out and spoke. Now, what I got to do first is catch y'all up on the whole Victor Couzens story, because a whole lot of you that are watching me may not know that this thing started over a whole year ago. So I'm going to catch everybody up. So everybody that don't know, you going to know in the next 5 minutes. But first, I want to say thank you. First of all, I need every last one of you guys on YouTube, on Facebook, and over there in the Paradigm Scope. I need for you to hit like. I've been telling Periscope not to do it, but we need y'all to hit all the emotions the whole time y'all over there. And hit the like here on the Facebook and on the Facebook rations. That's what we need for you to do. Why do we do this? Now, if you saw the upload I did of Ralencia's, hold on, what's her name? Is that right? Ralencia's video, I put it up a couple of hours ago, but YouTube is saying I done it 12 hours ago. They're messing with my algorithms. And I know what's going on, but I'm not going to say it out loud. But there's some people that work at Facebook that I know, and they've been letting me know what's going on. But the way that we combat that is whenever you see me go live or make a post on Facebook or in the YouTube community, you may not be one of the patrons that donate $12 every month. Thank you so much for you guys. Or you may never hit the super chat. You may never do a Cash App or go to a website or any of those things. But what you can do, and I need everybody to do, is to hit like and make a comment or share whenever you see a post or a video. So right now, I need for you to hit like and then click share so that everybody will know that Larry Live is on. It's the way that you support digital content creators like myself, because most of you guys, from what I hear, people don't have a whole lot of cable no more. You watching YouTube, you watching social media, and that's basically your entertainment. You may, download some show, Netflix as well, and Hulu, possibly Prime Video. But y'all really not really watching TV like that. We entertaining you guys. So if you love the show, like you do a movie, you go to a movie, pay $20 and stay there an hour and a half, and you got me to watch over to and over to and over to again, as long as you got an internet signal. And sometimes I sit here 2 hours, 2 or 3 times a week. So the least you can do is to click like or share or become a patron. And I want to say thank you to all of the patrons. Yes, on the first of every single month, they allow Patreon, which is a service for digital content creators, to withdraw $12 out of their account. And it is their donation to the MBNNetwork that sponsors LarryReidLive. And in return, I give them a good time over there. I give them a good time over there in Patreon, sharing stuff that I would never share publicly. And I'm going to do something tonight for the patrons that stay. Let me explain something, because whenever we go into a new month, you know how black folk is. Most of all us here are black people. They're like, I ain't got but $15 in my account, $12 ain't coming out because you ain't been managing your money. You probably not a tither. You don't live right. You don't support no profit or nothing no more. You sow and save. Sow and save. So your money cursed. So you try to you cancel your membership, then you come right back when I put something else in there. Let's just try to be consistent. This is our platform. And y'all know the lawyers, I have to keep paying them because these niggas keep coming after me. And it ain't stopped. Just because I'm not talking about it don't mean it ain't stopped. Let me hush. I can't. But a little bit, let me hush. $26,000 in since September. I ain't saying nothing else about it right yet. But so every little thing you do over here, it does support what we are doing here. Since I'm mentioning the lawyers, make sure y'all continue to pray for Sadir and Olga, because it can get a little. I can't say nothing about it. Anyway, so let me go ahead on and go forward and talking about what we're talking about on tonight. Oh, I want to say this. I went to the P.O. box. So if you want to send me a letter where you just cussing me out, or you want to send something nice or a testimony like I hear from, in fact, over the last month, 3 LRLers have died. See, let me say something. Yeah, and this is, reminds me of the years of pastoring, because, I sort of develop a relationship with everybody that watch, even the commenters and everybody. Every time I go out the house, I run into one of you guys. And then when I hear, I'm watching you from the hospital bed, some of y'all know how you watching me from jail. I still ain't figured it out. How's you watching me from jail? You got a cell phone? You're not supposed to be doing that. TV show, that's not right. I tax dollars paying for that. I don't know. But anyway, and so I just heard yesterday that a 72, God, I can't remember her name, 72-year-old, and I wish I did. I should have wrote it down. That she recently died, but she was a faithful LRLer, and she laughed all the last days of her life because of watching this show. Heard the same thing from another viewer. God, what is his name? Shamako gave me his name, and he posted the picture of him, and he was the same way. Loved LRL. You just never know how many people you're really causing to laugh, when you're doing a job like this. It's really amazing. So I really want to say thank you guys for watching, and I also want to say condolences to those family members of those that have passed. And I would say I went to the P.O. box today, and when I got there, they said, Mr. Reid, you got to start coming more because you get a whole lot of mail. We have to send all of it back. Y'all, I didn't know. So as of today, from now on, my helper Ida has to go to the mailbox 3 times a week because stuff keep getting sent back. I had all kinds of bags, mugs, and somebody dumps because they heard me say that my daughter told me she wanted to be a judge. Do you know somebody went and got a limited edition black Barbie judge in a row with a gavel? Look at that. I just mentioned it lightly. I said, look at her. I said, who did this? This is so nice. Look at this here. This is all kind of nice. And I looked and it said, oh, shoot. Oh, here it is. So I'm going to shout this person out. Hi, Larry. I am Dante Demonstrator, Papal Bible Save viewer. I heard you say that your daughter wants to be a judge, an international judge. I mean, she really was listening. From Rosemore, STL. What is that? St. Louis? The St. Louis? Yeah. Is it, Nancy, you probably wrong. Is it STL? I don't know what STL. I don't forgot. My social studies skills is gone. Okay. Thank you so much. I'm going to give this to my oldest daughter right after the show. And then Conscious TV. Y'all know the YouTuber that always be studying. He been in my Patreon for a long time. And anything I do, this man is a researcher and will find stuff out. Well, he always wear this silver chain, and I told him a year ago when I done an interview with him that I liked it. And he sent this big old gold chain. Look how big this thing is. This thing is huge. Look. Good Google a move. I like one of Run DMC them. What's the Run DMC? Yeah, River Run them. Bishop, that's one of the Bishop, what's the name, mentors? Or one of the Fat Boys. This is hot on camera, ain't it? It's St. Louis. The Fat Boys are back. And I know they will never be whacked. Y'all probably don't remember that. When they wear them big old chains. The Fat Boys are back. And I know that I can't wear this. I done got to find out this stainless steel, because if it's not stainless steel or solid gold, I can't wear it long because my neck would just break all the way out. This is hot though. I'm going to take a picture on this with this somewhere or nothing. And then somebody got a note, and somebody sent me this cup. Look at here. It got a theater thing that's me up there with hilarious and real and I'm taking up so much time, ain't I just can't help it. That's the mask faces for theater. And they're prophetic. Let me see where this is from. Let's make sure I got the piece of paper. All right, this says, this is custom cup. This custom cup was requested by Mr. Alexander Poole. Undoubtedly your #1 fan. Facebook and Instagram, KY Custom Cups. Thank you so very much. So I want to take a few moments to just thank the patrons that do the $12 donation, all of you that help all year long, help raise money for, like, one woman got pulled out the church. So many different people you guys have helped and sent your money in, and we have been able to help several women, and even some, like when we had Carlton Pearson, my mentor, and some other people, I said, here's their Cash App, put it up. Every single time you guys responded. That time when, with the lawyers, if I hadn't got them lawyers, I would have been in jail. I ain't going to say that I absolutely would have been in jail because I just can't say nothing about it. I don't know what I can say and what I can't say. But the devil was busy and tricky up through there. But wouldn't let it be. Ain't God good? All right, now. All right, let's go on with this story. So let me catch y'all up so you know. Now this man named, we got a picture of him. Okay, look at this picture here. And don't nobody laugh. You're not going to do this tonight. I'm not doing any jokes. I'm just going to tell this story. But I know y'all are messing them comments. But I ain't going to say nothing. This is him. His name is Bishop Victor Couzens. He is the protege of Bishop Paul S. Morton. Let it rain, let it rain. Your tears are temporary. Him. All right. So about a year and some change ago, somebody sent me a screenshot of this female's long rant. And in the rant, she was basically saying, nigga, I was just with you 2-3 weeks ago, and we was fucking. Now, for those of you that do not know, maybe your first time watching the show is an entertainment show. We do fake cuss words, and sometimes the conversation get a little racy. You know, but just bear with me. Said we were just fucking, and I just heard and received information that you was about to get married to a woman named Abby. Then we got a picture of Abby. Now, how are you going to go ahead and get married to this woman? And we've been doing what we've been doing for 8 whole years. 8 years. So when I got the screenshot, of the post, then I went to the page and I found the video. Oh, she was going, oh! I said, now this is really good. Now I think I shared either the post or either the video or both. Anyway, got in contact with them, got on the show, done an interview. First, I looked at the pictures of them together. I looked at, what else did I see? The pictures of them together. Oh, I think I saw a couple of receipts for some trips. Well, both of their names was on it. So I knew, and their relationship was established. Now, let me say this from the top of the show so everybody will know. This is not a married man, but he is a pastor, a moral, ethical, spiritual, well, supposedly all them things, leader. So for me, my immediate issue wasn't just that you had a lover and that you've been fracking. That wasn't the issue. But the issue for me was this pattern that I saw where it looked as though this relationship was something that had been going on for years. And I even saw pictures. I remember seeing pictures of wedding rings and reading some text messages surrounding that thing. I said, okay, so this is really a relationship established. I also backdoored the story, to get some information. Say, okay, yeah, they definitely was together. And so I came out and I did the story. But ladies and gentlemen, when I did the story, while I was sitting here doing the story, I was getting zing, zing. Within 24 hours, I was on my way out of town to Greensboro, North Carolina. I stayed on the phone for hours, I know, with a whole nother lover that had been with him for 8 years. I saw the same pictures of rings, same promises, but with this one, I saw several trips to other countries. I saw checks upon checks and cash deposits, wires, emails, evidence of sextivities with other people, hired and volunteered. Oh, so I had to hold all of that in. In fact, some of what I just said probably never said publicly. But I held all of that in, and I got both of them on the line the next day within 24 hours. Oh, you know, LarryReidLive ain't the way it used to be about a year and a half ago. Year and a half ago. I mean, we still do the story, but the way that we did the story back then, it seemed as though maybe a little bit more salacious. I don't know. Probably was. But anyway, so while y'all remember that show, while I was interviewing both of them, you almost saw one who wanted to talk and the other one who I ain't really want to talk, ain't really bothered by this, which was totally opposite of what I experienced on the phone with her the entire day. This was the second one, the second level. Crying and going through all these changes and gave me all this information. Now on the phone, you're not even that concerned, which was very strange to me. And this girl is fine. And lives right here in Atlanta, is a principal. And didn't seem to be the kind of woman that would do all these things she did, but this girl was nasty. But anyway, while I'm on the phone navigating that whole interview with both of them, I opened up the lines. And how many did we count? 3, 4 other women called in and a man. Yes, a young man from Chicago. He called in and said, I had him too. I was with him too. I think he gave the years he was. And you saw me jump up out my seat and run. I just kept coming in the camera. I was running because I had to do this at a former member's house in Greensboro area. I'm just running around in circles. It was too much. I said, this is too much. Of course, that story went viral. It wasn't one of our biggest stories, but probably one of the most memorable because all of the drama surrounding it. And Christian Post picked this story up and really followed this story over a course of the last year. So if you type in Christian Post, in fact, you go to either my YouTube community or my Facebook page, I put a link in there and it'll lead you to all the links. So this has been going on for an entire, make sure the people we interview are already on the line. Can you check and make sure? Look and see. Yeah, they are. Okay, y'all stay right there. I'm coming to you. All right, so at this time, this was the level, and I said this, I think on the first interview or the second interview, I began to call him a master manipulator. I also said in these interviews that I didn't think any of these women were victims. I wouldn't call them victims. You might could say, or I might could say, victims of manipulation. But in my opinion, these were just girlfriends that were being cheated on, or friends with benefits that were being led to think that they were going to have a chance of being more. But this man was being a regular nigga. Though he a pastor, he was being a regular. And that's a whole problem. If you are a pastor and a moral leader, aside from that, he is a father. Now, see, I don't know how many children he fathered. I know he got a boy, but I don't know if he got any daughters. But you a black male father, pastor, bishop, and you ain't got no more ethics than this here. So I knew there was a whole problem. I said, this is a serious problem. Nah, I am going to say it's a good thing that he won't marry during this. But from what I'm told, and there's no receipts for this, because I have not talked to his wife prior named Tara. I think that's her name, if my memory serves me correctly. So I don't have any receipts, just words that says he was doing the same thing when he was married. So I'm going to say alleged to that. But all of this, what I'm telling you, it happened. It absolutely happened. And I seen the countless checks. I even put them. I didn't have Patreon at the time. So maybe what I can do. I know what I can do. This is what I'm going to do for the patrons. Now, if you are not a patron and you want to join tonight, I suggest you don't. Oh, wait, hold on, because they start charging on the 1st. But I think if you do it now, they won't charge you again on the 1st. I'm not sure. But I ain't sure, so don't count me on that. But if you already are a patron, then you're going to get a treat. What I'm going to do, I'm going to drop all of the receptacles. God didn't have one there. Remind me, Natchez. She's just going to take an hour or two of doing that. All the receptacles remember, I held all the receptacles from the other woman. So I'm going to drop all of them in there just so we can see the pattern of manipulation and even the emails. I remember there was the other woman that got my YouTube struck for 90 days because I put a video up that she gave me of the victor being drunk and cussing and saying all kind of vulgar things. Now, I put that up. Other outlets have pulled it, and it's still out there online. You can look at it. But I think that's a violation of Patreon. I can't put that in there. I don't think. But I'm going to check and see. I'm going to put there's some other stuff of him allegedly receiving head. I can put that in there. But I think the drunken video, I can't. Ain't that stupid? But let me check and make sure. But if I can, I'm going to put it all in there. I'm going to put everything in there that I got. It's Happy New Year to you. So I don't think I shared any of this stuff I don't think I shared it with anybody. If I did, it was with a lawyer, but I can't remember. But either way, I'm gonna put it over there in the Patreon, just so you can see there's evidence behind what I said. Cause at that time I told you guys, look, I saw it. I ain't gonna put it up. Y'all just have to believe what I said. But we're in a different time now. Cause now I have Patreon. I can put everything over there. So I'll put it over there. So this for me, being a black father and having daughters and having been a pastor for 20 years. I don't care how mad y'all get. The more I said, but it's just the truth. And so that was a whole problem for me how this man was operating. And so we kept bringing this up here and there. It's like something will pop off, more information will come, and we kept doing the whole story. So this is how this started. Now, at that particular time, it was a child daycare center there at IBC. I think there were several hundred members that were there, maybe even thousands. I can't verify. Maybe we can find out from these ladies tonight. But as this story began to grow and continue to go on, you put a picture of that up. Yeah, that's the church. This is the church. It's the picture of the church. So we're not talking about a little piece of church around the corner. These, from what I understand, there were thousands of members in this church. And over the last few years, not just the last year and a half, but over the last 5 years, from what I understand, because of the personal life choices of Bishop Victor Couzens, I call him the Victor. And this is the reason why I call him the Victor, because it seems as though that no matter how many victims sat in those pews, he still ruled as the victor. And I told you guys this months ago. So Victor being his name. So I just call him the Victor because it seemed like in this system that the church, in my opinion, refuses to upgrade and reform, people like him, and I'm not saying like him that he's some dirty dog. I am saying on some level that he is, but that may not be all that he is because I don't know him. But someone with his problems with his issues, with his character. Someone who appears to be narcissistic, egotistical, ruthless, and at the same time heartless and cold, revengeful. Lord, I'm just coming with more and more, ain't I? But it seems like someone like him in the church system, the way that it is, can live a very victorious life. That's why I call him the victor. It don't matter how many victims of his leadership and his personal life choices that he has, he still is rolling on. And you guys, I would hate to say this. Oh, I need a charger for the laptop. Yeah, I forgot. I hate to say this, but it seems like when it comes to the church, criminals, perverts, narcissists, tyrants can function and operate and hurt, harm, and put people in danger, rob folk, and won't nobody say nothing. Not much. That's what it seemed like to me. But not anymore. Oh, the guy named that died was Charles Scott. If you remember the name of the other people that I mentioned that died over the last month that were LRLs, please let me know. Okay? All right. That took me down some. I'm going to get back up. Okay. But not now. Because, and this is what and I know some pastors and bishops are going to really get upset with me, but this is what I am very excited about concerning tonight's show. And I'm going to say this first. I was going to wait to say it. But I looked at the comments. You got to go back and look at their videos. I'm going to air their videos here. I'm going to air the first one. We're going to start with Raymona. We have both of them on the line, but you can hear me now. But both of y'all keep listening to the show through the phone because you got to be in real time when I call your name. You probably won't be able to hear me run your video. It's going to be silent for about 13 minutes. But keep listening because I'm going to come back. At that moment, you can be looking on your device. But I'm going to run their video. I put their videos on my Facebook platform. Both of them are there. And I looked at the comments, and it was very interesting to me how so many people were dogging these ladies because they were speaking out. Well, on this platform, a lot of times we hear from the jilted lovers. We hear from the woman scorned. We hear from the unhappy hoe. We hear from the side chick that don't get no more. So, we hear from that more than we do from people who are actually really the victims in the totality of the word, meaning their life, is totally been shook up. A mainstay in their life is just no longer there. Like with Lady Paula Brown. That's a victim. That there is a victim. John Moore, First Lady John Moore and his wife, I can't remember her name, when Nita went over there and acted a muck and then went public and blamed him for being sexually inappropriate and it ain't even happened and she ain't have no evidence. That's a victim. That's a victim. These ladies here are members of IBC who give their tithe and their offering to their spiritual parent, their pastor, and they expect one of these ladies for 10 whole years. That's a decade. And while I'm saying decade, I need to say this to y'all prophets. Y'all is getting on my last nerve. I went to a service last night to support a friend, and them prophets irritated me. One of them anyway, or maybe two of them. Talking about this is we're entering a new decade. No, no, we ain't. Mm-mm. This is we're going into this is the closing of a decade. So I need for y'all to get that right. But anyway, so what I like about this is that we have these people who's, I don't know if you've ever been connected to a church, but if you've had a home church, that church means everything to you. That church holds so much, possibly of your identity, your wellness. It holds the fibers of your being together when you're just about to lose it. It's probably been the place that the one place you can go to and always expect love and forgiveness and kindness, relationships that you have developed that maybe even became roommates or at least prayer partners, and the people you go out to eat with on Sunday, or your community, your spiritual community. And then someone does something to bust it up or to raise a question mark over all of it. Maybe your mama used to go there, your husband, your grandma and them, the whole family grew up in the church. And now one person's decisions or behavior has busted it all up. It's like a divorce. It's like a death. And it was interesting to me to see many people in the comments acting like, oh, just leave and get into the church. Oh, why is you even saying nothing? Just go on about your business. When the same platform will sit and listen to side hoes, side chicks, jilted lovers, and support them. Well, sometimes y'all don't even support them. When we have someone who has done nothing to deserve this horrendous stripping away of what is familiar. I think we need to listen to their stories. I think we need to listen. And that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to play you 12 minutes of Raymona Felder. How much? 13 minutes of Raymona Felder, who was a 10-year member of this church. And then when we come back from there, she's on the line, and we're going to talk with her. And she's going to stay on the line, and then I'm going to introduce to you the second member. Her name is Ralencia Jackson. We're going to watch her clip, and then she's going to come on the line, and we're going to have a conversation. We're going to ask hard questions. They're going to answer those questions, and they're going to also share and give us insight into what is going on now. A year and some change later, what have been the repercussions? How has the membership went down? What have you went through spiritually as a result? And we're going to expose what has been happening behind the scenes that we only been speculating about out here because we've been on the outside. But now we have members who are willing to speak up. And I did text, I'm going to say this. I'm not going to say their name because I'm pretty sure you're watching. I text you, you need to text me back because as this story unravels, if we run into any other leadership there that has not been proactive in doing what is right, the commenters are going to drag you. I'm just going to talk about you and say what I need to say. So it ain't going to really be a dragging. But this platform is going to drag, and you already know this platform, these thousands of folks start dragging you. You get dragged somewhere everywhere else. So it'd be best that you at least just send a statement so we know what part you did play, what part you did not play. Lest we think ill of you too. You know who you are. All right, let's go ahead and watch this, see what she said. Raymona. What? Play, Ramona.
Was bold enough to step myself up in IBC because that's where I am a member of, and I'm not scared of no man, but I am afraid of the Lord. So when the Lord ordained your steps, you have to really step out into that thing. You see, this is something that he's been preparing me for his process. So therefore, I already know that not only are my steps ordained, but I also know when Ephesians 6 tells me to put on my whole armor of God, I got on my whole armor of God. So when I get to church, it's not just one police officer, there's three. There wasn't just three for me. There was just three just to keep things in order. And I totally understand that. So we walk up in the church. Everything's fine. We have one service today. We have a Power One worship service every fifth Sunday of the month. So the whole church is packed. I mean, it was faces in there that I haven't saw in a really long time. And as we sat in there, Bishop Couzens did very well with playing the victim that he always does. He played real good manipulating the people like he always does. Even, other people that was involved that he has manipulated was standing beside him like they always do. But there was a group of us that when he got up to preach, we got up and we left. Yes, when I got up and I left, I did. I shouted out and I said, do y'all really want this man to continue to be y'all leader? Because that's the question here. You have a man that has not only done worldly things, but he continues to do worldly things. And in those worldly things now, he's robbing. He's robbing us from what it is that we call our church home. And we are getting ready to lose our church home. And that's really what this is all about. This ain't really about, what's going on with his finances, with his adoptions and his abortions and, his child support and his sex scandals and what he's done with women in the past and what he done last year. That's not what this is about. This is about what is taking place now. Because of all of that, it has affected us. So we all want to let the record show. Once again, I said I went to one of the most popular mega churches in the city. In 2017, we had 2,800 members in 2017. As of last year and of this year, we only have 350 members. So now you ask yourself, this man has been over 2,800 members that he has been asked by God, chosen by God, to lead the flock for God's people. And because of his manipulation, his arrogance, his pompous, his cunning and crafty ways, because of him being so prideful, not even allowing himself with no humility to humble himself, to say I'm sorry and be sincere about it, this man has now have only 350 members. And those are a lot of souls that not only have just left the church of IBC and went somewhere else, but have just left the church completely because of church hurt. Now, you got a lot of folks that talk about church folk. And then you got a lot of people that talk about church hurt. This man is church hurting people. And because of it, we've lost our congregation. And because we've lost our congregation, we are losing out. And when I say we're losing out, because we, the congregation, is what upholds the building. The reason why you pay tithes, you don't pay tithes for the pastor. You don't pay tithes for him to go live off the money. You pay tithes to keep up your building where you can go praise and worship, to keep the lights on, to make sure that you have a place to go and fall on your face and ask the Lord for forgiveness and do ministry work and to go out and do outreach and help save another soul. That's what the church home is for. But because he's been taking the money, yeah, I said it, and he's been making sure that he gets 39% off top every Sunday, and because he's making sure that his bills is paid and they can take trips and do this and do that, we're suffering. As of August of this year, our church has been up for sale. Our church has been up for sale. We owe $4 million on our church. If we get $4 million, our church will be completely paid off. We're struggling. Since August, we have not met that budget. Not at all. We put the building up for, I think, about 8 or 10 million. 4 million of that, if the church had gotten sold before December 31st, was going to go towards the bank, and the other part of it was we was going to take that and go start a whole new building. But that didn't happen. So now this did. The bank contacted the church. The bank told the church in a letter. I saw the letter. So this is not no hearsay. This is me seeing this with my own eyes. I read it with my own eyes. And the letter stated, your church will only survive if the leadership and the pastor, Dr. Bishop S. Couzens, was to retire. If he does not, the church, as of January 9th of 2020, will go into foreclosure. And because they are so serious, they may do that in 30 days. They may give us 90 at the most. But this is what's happening here. We are losing our church home. And a lot of people that are there, we're not going to have nowhere to go. So this ain't about nothing but the people of God. It's God's house. Then it's the congregation's house. The pastor's at the bottom. But the pastor has put himself at the top in order for him to live. And he denied and refused to step down. He is refusing to step down as pastor for his own prideful, narcissistic behavior. And instead, he is hurting us because of it. Because he doesn't want to go out as a person who lost. But you are being looked upon, sir, as a wicked server. Because what are you really doing for your flock? What are you doing? What point are you trying to prove? Are you trying to prove a point to us that you don't give up? Because the devil already got you, sir. And then you're going to tell us today, those that walked out on you, that the only way that we can come back is if we repent. Repent to who? You are not God. That is the problem. And all your little peons that you got up in leadership that is for you, they will be held accountable just like you will. Now, the Lord's wrath is something that you don't play with. I fear the Lord. I don't fear man. But when you fear God and you really fear him, all I can say to you and everybody that is supporting you, wrongfulness, may the Lord have mercy on your soul. So I do want to say this, though, and then I'm going to end this real quick. And everybody that's coming on, I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. We had put out a letter for Bishop Couzens to be voted out this Saturday on January the 4th at 10:30 at the church. He found out about the letter. So he had another letter sent out by the administrative department at the church, sending a letter out telling everybody that the letter was bogus. It wasn't a real letter. Disregard the letter. There won't be no voting going on. Well, I am here to tell you that the letter was not bogus. Voting is going to take place. Your attendance is needed because we need to save our church, but it will not be at IBC because he has locked the doors. He's changing the locks. I mean, go figure. When you're scared, you run like a little puppy with your tail between your legs. So it's understandable. But we will be meeting on January the 4th next door to IBC at the Crystal Room on this Saturday, January the 4th, 2020 at 10:30 a.m. I need all old members, all new members, and all current members that is not for what this man is for to be in attendance, and we are going to take a vote and we are voting him out. It is now your chance for your voice to be heard. No more pain, no more hurt, no more manipulation, no more lies, no more pompous behavior, no more adulterous behavior, no more stealing the money, no more misleading your flock. You're done. It is over. God said no more. You will not have your way in God's house. You will not have your way. in God's house. He is the Alpha and the Omega. He is the I am. Not you, Victor S. Couzens. You are no one. You are really just a man. So all those that forgives him to say that he is just a man, and I forgive him as well, then do and treat him just as such. Just a man. He is not God. So come out on January the 4th, this Saturday at 10:30 a.m. and show that you are standing for your Lord, for his house, for his kingdom. We will worry about a new leadership. Trust and believe God ain't going to close a door without opening up another one. Trust and believe God ain't going to remove one leader without putting another leader in place. We will do what we must do once we get to that bridge. But at this time, we cannot continue to be led by a false prophet. Yes, I said it. He is an anointed one. But when you continue to go out here and do worldly things, you are a false prophet. And the Bible talks about that. We cannot serve two masters. I serve the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. One salvation, one faith, one truth. And it ain't you. No truth is in you. And you get up and you set up this little fairy tale story today and you became the victim and, they came to my house and, oh, he poured out. They came to my house because they thought I was going to hurt myself. Who called the police? I don't know who called the police, but they went on ahead and they took me and this and that and the other. Whatever, sir. Whatever. We all are the victims, and you've made us your victim. But there will be no more. The Lord has spoken, and you must stop, and you got to go. You have abused your calling. You have abused your anointing, and you know it. But only a prideful man can sleep good at night. But the Lord talks about a prideful man. A prideful man can't even enter into the kingdom of heaven. So when you tell us that we need to repent, you need to repent. You need to go on another sabbatical for what you have done to almost 2,500 people. Because 2,500 people has left your church under your leadership. And you only have 350 of them now. And you had the nerve today to ask for them to pull out the Christmas box to make a donation to you. Christmas is over. What is you asking for a Christmas gift for? Christmas is over. We're tired of giving you our money. We're tired of you stealing from us. We're tired of you lying to us. We're tired. And if anybody else is watching this, please share it. Because I don't know who all are the members are, but please share it. Wherever it goes, that's as far as it needs to go. I don't care if it reaches the whole entire world. This man has to be stopped because he's dangerous. And he's dangerous because he is a narcissist. He's dangerous because he is prideful. He's dangerous because he's a false prophet and he is not doing the will of God.
Raymona Felder. Now, she has filled us in on what is the climate, what type of climate that the members right now are dealing with over there at the Inspirational Baptist or Bible Church there in the Cincinnati, Ohio area. She is a 10-year member of that church, and the church wants to vote Bishop Victor Couzens, a.k.a. the Victor, out because they are tired of dealing with what they're dealing with. She spoke out. That's her video. Now, there is another member, and her name is Ralencia Jackson. And I want you to hear from her as well. I made a decision to go ahead and do hers, and I'm going to introduce both of you guys to both of them at the same time and have a conversation with both of them. Now, Ralencia hasn't been there as long from what I understand. Or maybe she has. She may have been a member for 10 years. Hold on, in fact, she told me she was a member in 2008, but I don't think that she was consistently going until recently. But we'll find out. Now, she also went live and talked about what she experienced this past Sunday morning. Now, let me set for you the atmosphere. I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna let them tell you all of the details of what happened. Let's look and see what she said, and then we'll come right back and introduce you to both of them. They are on the line.
The church got a letter that Bishop needs to be set down, and if he don't, they're going to close the church doors as of January the 9th. They're going to do that. And I think the bank is going to stand firm on what they're going to do, and they're going to do it precisely and very quickly. They're not going to waste no time. I don't think they're going to waste any time doing what they need to do, because besides it being a church, the bank wants their money. The bank wants their money. You know, he's trying to manipulate the people from not going forward with trying to remove him from IBC. Now, when I came to church today, you know, I came in as welcoming as I did, came in and gave love. But a lot of people will just continue to ask me, are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm still Ralencia. I still love God. I still come to worship. I still welcome everybody in love. Nothing has changed. Okay, just because I express my opinion about something don't mean that I'm trying to be messy. I'm trying to be trying to start any mess, because I'm not. I wasn't raised that way by nature, period. So, you know, I'm not built that way at all. So I know how to conduct myself in the house of God, first and foremost. So went into service. We had good worship, and everything. So my thing was, you know, I as the uncommon person, I'm speaking to the uncommon people. So that's where I'm coming from. That's the only basis that I am, and right now, my spirituality and my walk with God. So as the uncommon person, I'm sitting in the sanctuary and I'm looking around and I'm thinking, you know, where is the executive pastor? The executive pastor was nowhere to be found. I didn't see him. So he wasn't sitting up there with Bishop. And now this is the man that Bishop appointed to come and help dedicate the business part of the church. And this is the man who you brought to your church to speak to shepherd your flock in your absence. But why is he not worthy enough to sit next to you when you come back to the people? Put that in your head. So he's not there, and I'm looking, I'm like, okay, I don't see him. He's in the audience sitting with us, with the members, while Bishop is conversating. That alone got me. Like, why is this man sitting out here and he's not sitting up there with Victor? Why he's not sitting up there? That would question me. That would be that's a question that I had as the uncommon person and as a partner of IBC. So as he continued on and he started to go on, now what I knew that shenanigans was coming when he got up and he said, you know, he brought his wife up there. And mind you, people, IBCs who's on here, we have not been formally introduced to his wife the whole year they have been married. We haven't been formally introduced to her. Now, we seen her there maybe once or twice. We seen her in the sanctuary prior to, but she wasn't formally introduced to us, you know, hey, this is my wife, such and such and such, and you know, I love her. She's the new first lady. We didn't know who she was. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, as an uncommon person as I am, and as me being a reborn saint, I'm like, okay, so now you want to introduce your wife to everybody? You should have been did that a year ago. That's my thoughts. You late. You should have been did that. Your members, your flock should have a relationship with your wife. We should know her by now. We should know some things about her or whatever. We don't have no clue. We don't know who she is. We didn't know she is your wife. How do you want us to even look at her as your first lady and our first lady, and we don't even know who she is? Secondly, and the other thing I noticed, then he started to get into the conversation about the police came to his house and somebody called and said they was concerned about him. That was the start of that. That was the manipulation right there. He done turned the whole thing on to him. He done turned he about to start getting everybody to feel sorry for him. Feel sorry for what? You was given instructions, sir, by the bank. And I know a lot of people think like, oh, well, now y'all want to say something. But the thing is, hey, it is what it is. So, now that he's trying to play victim and trying to change our minds, change our hearts for what we have going on. And there was a letter sent out. There was 2 letters sent out. One letter said that, what you got before was a lie. There ain't going to be no meeting. There ain't going to be no voting. Bishop Couzens, whatever, is not going to go nowhere or whatever. There's another letter that came out saying that we were going to vote at a certain time. So, the manipulation and the confusion was already starting amongst the people already. The whole thing in the sanctuary, I felt in the spirit, we were already divided. That's what I felt in the spirit. We were divided then. It was just some uneasiness going on in the sanctuary because then nobody know who was going to do what was going to happen or whatever. That's why I wasn't even recorded today. That's why I didn't even go live today. Because everybody was so concerned about what was going to happen. So he said little shenanigans that didn't make sense, that really was unnecessary for him to say because it wasn't going to do anything. So once he did that today and he made his move, and me sitting there, y'all, I was, when he got up and said that the police came to the house, I was ready to go then. I was ready to get up and leave then because I'm just looking at him in disgust. I was looking at him in disgust. I was looking at him like, I don't believe you up here just lying to these people. Now, this letter that was seen, whatever, I'm aware of the letter. You know what I'm saying? I seen it myself. So, I'm just trying to have an understanding, because the people have a right to know what's going on where they pay tithes at. Why is everything so hush-hush? So you up here telling them ain't nothing going on, and then you make this whole announcement or whatever, like, oh, I'm sorry. I went on this sabbatical because I'm supposed to go on this sabbatical for my healing and get right with God and get my mind right. You ain't going on sabbatical to get no right with God. You did. You went on sabbatical so you can rekindle your whole little situation with your wife, as you stated on the platform that y'all was separated, and that's why you went on sabbatical. Because if you really care about the people of God, if you was really concerned about how things was hurting us and how they were going to affect us, you would have went on sabbatical last year. I'm just saying. You would have did that. You would have made that move last year because that would have let us know you was very sincere about our feelings. That would have let us know you was very sincere about how we felt. And how you've been playing things out for the past year, just let me know, as a woman of God, you could care less what's going on with us. You don't care how we feel. Long as you getting your benefit, then you're going to put out the box. You're going to put out the box, the little blue box, for an offering. How you going to be asking the church for some money, and we need some money to keep the church open? How dare you? You is bold, and you arrogant, and you selfish, man. You. Really? How you gonna be asking us for some money? You should have came to church with you should have came to church with $10,000 in your hand. Like, I got something for y'all today. Y'all think I don't love y'all? Let me tell y'all what I did for y'all today. That's what you should have came to church and did. Why they come up and putting out boxes to give you something? You should be giving us something. Really? Come on now. You don't care about your church. You don't care about your people. You could care less. You right. My brother said I call him a woman of God. He is one because he a punk. You a straight up punk. You act like you a man. You ain't no man. You a straight up punk. Cause you was a grown man, you would sit down. If you was a grown man, you would sit down and do what's right for your people, because we are hurting and we need a place to come and worship God, not worship you, cause you're not God. Let's make that very clear. You ain't God, Victor. You ain't God. You probably manipulated everybody else in there, but every 35 people that got up today and walked out, we ain't on it. We ain't on it. We tired. We washed our hands with it. We're not going to deal with it no more. We want our souls to be restored. We done held on enough. We done dealt with enough. That's why we left. That's why we left. Because we want God to be pleased in what we're doing. We don't want to be turned around when we go in front of him on Judgment Day because we were more concerned about your feelings. Come on now, dude. Come on. Oh, we don't care. Your discernment is no concern for us. It's no concern for me. I don't have no respect for you at all. So that's why I left. Cause I'll be darned if I have myself to be under your leadership and have you pray over me. I might as well ask the devil to do it himself. Might as well. So when we all left from the church, we went up to the Crystal Hall and we all had a conversation about voting Bishop out. That's the plan. That's the plan for us to vote him out and do the necessary steps in order. We're doing everything in order. And once we get those things set in stone, we would like for all of those people who have not been at IBC for a little while, and it just, wait a minute, let me go back, because I just remember, how did we start off as we had 2,800 members, and now we got down to 350 or was it 380? That's a lot of people that don't even go to IBC no more. Look what you done did to these souls. All these souls out here is lost. They lost. Not lost as not lost in a way where they can't find themselves, but spiritually. You know what I'm saying? Every man, every woman needs a spiritual covering. We all need spiritual covering. We all need spiritual coverings, and we should all have that. We should all have that. I know a lot of people, y'all say, I can, I don't need to go to church to find God. I don't need to go to church or whatever. And some of you can feel that way, and I understand, because I've been where you've been. I've been there. I've been to the point where I didn't want to go to church because I could read the word on my house myself by myself. And you can do that. But the thing is, we as members of IBC, we want to come together. That's the reason why we are fighting so hard for our church, because we love one another. We support one another. We pray for one another. So we are making the necessary steps to vote him out. So this coming Saturday, anybody who has not been at IBC for a while and you want to cast your vote, if you want to cast your vote and to get Bishop out of IBC so we can start fresh, we can be unified, so we can heal and be restored, how about come to the Crystal Room right across from IBC next Saturday from 10:30, I think it was 10:30 to 11:30. We're going to be there for about an hour. Anyone who's not able to come, you can either send me an inbox, and I will lead you to the right direction to do an absentee ballot vote so that we can vote him out and everything. So we all have a voice. We all have our own opinion about things. We all have our thoughts and concerns about the people of God. But that's what this is all about, guys. We're going to just erase all of things that happened with Victor. This had nothing to do with him. This had to do with trying to get our church back so that we become unified, so that we become whole again.
I want you guys to know this, that Ralencia is absolutely hilarious, and she does not even know it. As she began, her and also Raymona, I think I'm saying her name correctly, there were so many instances, because I watched this a couple of times over and over, that I laugh, and it's not because of, the situation is not comical, but the way that these beautiful black women express themselves, there is absolutely nothing more entertaining. Very few things are as entertaining as a black woman giving you the rundown about what she is sick and tired of. There is absolutely nothing like a black woman telling you when she is tired and way past tired. And this was hilarity when Ralencia said that you need to go somewhere and get rewrite with God. And then she said, "Now we need to vote Bishop up out of IBC. Make sure y'all come over there to the crystal room." So I don't need you to pray over me. I might well have the devil to go pray over me. And we can't have you up there preaching over us. Or we get up there on Judgment Day, get turned around on Judgment Day. Lord, I want no more good. Ow! Lord, that was hilarious to me. I enjoyed listening to these women express themselves. They communicated it. Now, you may say this one was more articulate than the other. It don't. They both clearly communicated their pain, their feelings of being manipulated, their feelings of being disregarded, and as though their voice did not matter in what was going on in the church. And there also was this thing that I felt and that I sensed in their conversation of, I don't know what I'm going to do without my church, or I don't want to have my church in this situation. This doesn't feel good. And this is something that I know about a black woman. I'm married to a black woman for 18 years. My mama's a black woman. She got several aunts. I'm raising black women. I got a little bit of sense when it comes to black women. A black woman likes you to be a person of your word. Now let me explain something. I'm not saying only black women, but I'm talking about black women right now. I've only dated a few white women, and they weren't really dating. That was fricking over a period of time. But anyway, a black woman, being that when it comes to our society, and I've said this before and you guys don't like me to say that, but when it comes to white men, white women, black men, black women at the bottom. And one thing they don't like and that they love, they don't like for you to not be a person of your word and make them feel insecure financially, emotionally, and spiritually. In fact, if you can make a woman feel spiritually secure, she will work with your financial, iffiness, and any other kind of insecurity. But spiritually, she feels as though there's a hope in the future and there's a hope in things getting better. A black woman will invest all of her money and her time in you becoming whatever you need to be, whether that's her child, whether that's her man. That's just how they wired. But they don't like to feel like that on this journey of becoming, you can't be trusted and what you saying just don't measure up. You're only going to get so many chances of them before they start speaking out. And this is what we see here. These ladies are speaking out. And I think, I was going to hold this till later, but I think they should be applauded. Someone said to me, how is this the will of God? But they both said they felt as though God told them to speak out publicly. God is not into exposing. LRL told us God don't expose people. People expose people, and people expose themselves. You're exactly right. And I often say here, I don't like when people take the social media and tell what's in privacies. Although that's my job talking about it when it get there, but I don't like it. But this is not anything that's private. This has been talked about by major outlets for over a year. So this is not private. If I was a betting man, I would bet that these two women, and more than these, have been prompted, urged, unctioned by what I believe to be the Holy Ghost to make a public statement, but they felt as though it was not God because it doesn't look like what we see. Anybody who speaks out is a gossiper. They're a vlogger. They have some kind of ulterior motive. They're a jilted lover. They ain't seen Victor's peen. They ain't seen it. I seen it, but they ain't seen it. I seen the video. But they have never been with Victor. They're not exes. And according to what we know about his type, they're not even his type. So they certainly aren't in that space with him. But this is spiritual manipulation, spiritual abandonment, and disregard, and in some cases, spiritual neglect, and maybe spiritual rejection. But we're going to talk about it there on the line. We're going to commercial. When we come back, I'm going to introduce you to both of them. I'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere.
Are you in need of direction for a decision you have to make? Maybe you're curious about the future. If that's you, the founders of Zoe Ministries and the Company of Prophets are offering you free prophecy. Call 888-831-0434. Don't wait. Call 888-831-0434. Do it today. In the year and begin your new year at the best gospel party of the year. Friday, December 20th at 8 p.m. and Tuesday, New Year's Eve at 10 p.m. Dr. Shema Womack L. and Lady Womack invite you to Radiant Lights, Light Up the Darkness, food, music, open mic, and dance event. For more information about this free event, call 973-748-0090. It's the party of the year at 430 Franklin Street in Bloomfield, New Jersey. Friday, December 20th at 8 p.m. and New Year's Eve at 10 p.m.
Celestial Tax Service provides excellent tax preparation for the local DMV and all 50 states all year round. Here at Celestial Tax Service, we can assist you with tax preparation, accounting, and credit repair. We go above and beyond for our customers, and we assist you throughout the year with your current and past tax needs. If you want your taxes done with quality work and personal care, and you're looking for new beginnings for your credit history, contact Celestial Tax Services today. For further information or to get services, visit our website at www.celestialtaxservice.org and print out our company credit report or a tax preparation application and email it or fax it in to us, and we'll get you started.
All right, and we are back. Give me a minute to talk about our sponsors, our advertisers. Up first is Bishop E. Bernard Jordan. Now, if you need a personal prophecy, now the simple gift of prophecy is basically a word of encouragement, comfort, and exhortation. Then you need to call the number that you saw on the commercial so that you can receive that from a prophet. When a prophet speaks this over your life, it may sound simple, encouraging words, but it's important to have a prophet speaking positively over your life, and it's absolutely free through that service. Now, if you want to get in contact with Bishop Bernard Jordan, he has set up a program for you to sign up, and anyone who signs up and they make a donation of a certain size to Zoe Ministry. Now, Zoe Ministry has stuff overseas with children and food and all this kind of stuff. It's their what you call it, their overarching ministry. And if you decide you want to do that, you're going to get a one-on-one session with Bishop Bernard Jordan. And it is absolutely life-changing. He is the coach to millionaires. And I don't even know how he's able to make time to do this, but I do know I've heard from a lot of LRLers that you guys have done this, and there has been absolute life change. I've done I don't know how many times, and it's totally changed every area of my life. So you guys that decide to do that, then you should ask them about that when they call you for the free prophecy. But make sure you call and get a free prophecy. You call in many times you want to for a free prophecy. They always pick up their whole bunch of them. And then also, Shema Womack. Y'all know y'all enjoy this guy. I don't really like when he tells us what we ain't got no business eating, but I know it's right, and I watch for it be healed. Especially those of you that have a current, present, issue in your body. This man leads you to the foods that heal you. And I have seen eyeball to eyeball and seen the testimonies, been there on the compound. You're going to need to fly up there and really get in a relationship with him, or just order some of the products, some of the food, or the books. When we done the astrology show, what's about that book? What's the number? I ain't got it over here. But there's a lot that he has to offer. He is having a party. They already had part 1 on the 20th. Part 2, the biggest part of the party, is happening New Year's night. If you're in the New York area, you need to be there. If you're not, book a flight, fly up there. I've been to one of his parties. They are dope. And it's going to be spread with food that's probably going to shock you how much you're going to like it. So much entertainment. They're going to be speaking and musicians and magic shows and all kind of stuff that's going to be going on there. It's really fun. It's like going to Las Vegas for one night. So make sure that you are there in the space on tomorrow night. Book a flight. Go ahead on up there. And then the last one is tax. It's tax season. And we have a black-owned business. And she can get you some money right now. If you got your last pay stub from 2019, call her and make sure that you go ahead and get you about $600, $700, maybe $1,200 right now until your W-2s come in and you can actually file and get the rest of your money. But she's good at getting you the most in your taxes. Now, you can use a discount code if you want to get a discount on getting your taxes done. There's a discount code, and I don't know what it is. I done forgot it. But you rewind this thing back after it's all said and done and call and ask and say you from LRL and get that discount. How about that? All right, it's time to have the interview. Bring the ladies over. We are talking about Raymona Felder and Ralencia Jackson, who are members of IBC, pastored by the Victor, Bishop Victor Couzens. And it's time for us to get into the conversation. All right, go ahead and open up both lines, and I'm going to, the first two, open up both lines and make sure that we can hear both of them. Okay, I hope you're in a quiet place. Caller ending in 9812. Who is this, Raymona or Ralencia?
Hello, this is Raymona.
Oh, both of you are here.
Ralencia.
Okay, now.
We're both here.
All right, both of you are here. Okay, that's really good. I hope you're in a quiet place and a place where we can hear you. First, I want to say this to both of you guys. Thank you so much for actually taking this interview, because there are many different places that you can go, and trusting this platform with your voice to amplify it out to about 3,000 people, over 3,000 people who are still with us and watching right now across all platforms. I want to start first with you, Raymona. Raymona, how many years have you been a member of IBC?
I have been a member since, 2009, so that's 10 years.
And how long have you been a member, Ralencia?
Since 2008.
Since 2008. Okay, so you actually been a member longer.
Yeah.
Okay, so, but let me ask you this, Ralencia, because I want to make sure I got this right. It seemed as though maybe you've been a member a long time, but you weren't active in the church except for like the past year or two. Is that correct?
I've only been actively for the past 3.
Okay, got it.
I've been a member since 2008, but I wasn't consistently going until 2011.
Okay, now, Raymona, are you in leadership there
Yes.
at IBC?
Yes, I am.
Okay, because you spoke like it. What position do you hold there?
Well, I'm a evangelist.
Okay, your phone is cutting out. Say it again.
Can you hear me?
I can now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I was saying that I am an ordained evangelist, and I am currently in the process of becoming a licensed minister, and I am also in leadership over the prison ministry.
In the prison ministry. Okay. Now,
Yes.
one of the things that I want to know from both of you ladies, and I'm gonna start with this question here with Ralencia. Ralencia, what year was it that you began to notice a considerable breakdown there in the membership at the church?
I started to notice a breakdown within the past year.
Whoa. Wow. How about you, Raymona?
I started to know the breakdown. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I started to notice the breakdown a little longer than that, probably around 2017.
Okay. Now both of you, I want both of you to answer me this question as well, and I'm gonna start with you, Raymona. You said your breakdown began in 2017. Now, this is what I heard. See if you guys can verify this for me. That prior to the whole, lovers that he had and maintained for 8 years and everything else that came out a year ago, that prior to that there were issues that were already happening in the church surrounding infidelity and finances, something with child support and the divorce from the first wife. Talk to me about what began to happen before this past year.
Well, before this past year, I believe that some things were, I know that in 2017, him and his ex-wife came to church and did a sermon, and the sermon was called Uncensored.
It was
Where they kind of just, went through a breakthrough for their healing process to begin. In 2017, I do not know anything about any other type of infidelity or child support or anything like that going on between the year of 2017.
Okay. Are you on a cell phone, or are you moving or driving or walking or something?
Yeah, am I going in and out?
Yeah, the wind, all of that is, because we're on radio and on online at the same time. Okay, so what was it you began to hear, Ralencia, around about a year or two ago there at the church?
That's when I first heard the allegations as far as him going on with Andrea. And it was addressed, and a lot of the members had gotten a whiff of the story due to her posting and then the drunken video. So that's when I started to get a whiff of things that I've seen personally myself. I have heard rumors about stuff when I first got to IBC. But other than that, I haven't seen anything personally up front myself until last year.
Okay. All right. So
and I agree.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying, and I agree with that. A lot of the things that I had posted on Friday was just everything just in a whole nutshell, from me being present from 2009 up until 2019. So me coming into IBC in 2009, that was going through a divorce with his second wife.
Gotcha.
And then per that in 2008, and I think further out of that, he was going through other things for that situation. So this is just years of just ongoing, every year it just kind of has always been something. Whether if you're hearing it in the church, whether if you're hearing it outside the church, Cincinnati is not a very big place. So if one person that is known and is a public figure or is just known in the community, whatever they're doing is going to get out. And that's pretty much what has taken place, where it's just things that have gotten out and it got back to the church and it just escalated from there. and it leads us to where we are today.
One of the things that you said, and I want to verify, Raymona, you said that there was about 2,800 members, and then it dropped down to about 300. How many members are in attendance at the church every Sunday now?
So in first service, we have two services. First service is from 7:50 to about maybe 10 o'clock, and it holds about maybe 40, no more, 8 members. First service, and that's every Sunday. First service. Second service is a little more of members there, and second service starts at 10:50. It's over around 1:30, and you have about, well, from the last time that we did our flow chart, it was about maybe 100, close to 200. That's give or take.
Okay, Ralencia, is that the same? What numbers would you say?
I agree. I don't attend the first service, so I'm not aware about the first service. I only attend second service.
Okay, so second service between 1 and 200 people. That's about the amount that's there. Okay, now one thing that you a question that I want to ask from the audience, and I wanted to start the conversation talking about the accusations which we already done, and then find out about the attendance, and now I want to get into the climate at the church, because both of you guys have done these very passionate lives, and I want to know the climate. What is the climate there amongst the people? Are the people hurting? Are the people divided? Let me into the climate. I want to start with you, Ralencia, then we'll go to Raymona.
As I stated on my live, I do feel in my perception and how I see things, I do feel like the people are divided, because my position is from a different eye view than Raymona. So as you asked her about does she have a position as far as being in the body of the church, she does have a different position than I do, because I was a part of a certain part of the ministry at the church, but I wasn't consistent with it. And I became, like I said, came back to the church later on. So I have some gaps in my relationship at IBC.
Okay.
So once I began to be more consistent, and my view is that now we are divided, because some of us feel this kind of way as far as what things have been going on with Victor, with his personal life, and how things have been unraveling inside the church. Some people, they want to stick with it, and other people don't. So that's why I feel that there is divided. And the atmosphere is so uneasy because we're not sure what to do, because the people are hurting, because some people don't agree, some people want to be on his side, some people want to fight for him, some people don't want to fight for him. So it's like, I feel in my spirit there's kind of a tug of war. That's what my spirit in discernment is as far as the body and departments of IBC.
Okay, so your vantage and your lens is coming from the membership from the pew, and you're feeling and you're sensing that the church is divided. Okay, and Raymona, your view is coming from a more of a leadership position. So tell me the climate as far as this in the church as you think, Raymona.
Well, the church is definitely hurting. There's a lot of mixed things that goes on, as far as so you have separation. You have leadership, and then you have congregation. And leadership is unified. Congregation, it's unified and it's divided. And the reason why I'm saying that is because first service is more unified. That's more of our older members. And then you have the second service where people are kind of just, they're trying to feel their way. They're trying to find their place. There is some discomfort there. The hurt is definitely amongst the people in that atmosphere. So it's really kind of hard to say exactly with one word how second service is or how the whole church is overall, because it's kind of like in an uproar at this time. People are hurting, people are sad, people are church hurt, people are broken, people do feel divided, people are manipulated, people are kind of rising up against each other, but doing it in a very quiet way. So there's a lot that is taking place, and it's all because of this one man. And I'm just going to be blunt with that.
Let me ask you this: do you guys feel as though that there's anybody in the church enabling his behavior? And let me explain what I'm saying. If I'm in a church, and maybe just my personality, if I'm in a church and I love the church, I understand the community and getting to know people that you love, and you come there to worship, the feel of the togetherness, and I love my church, and then the leader is putting a stress in the environment or dividing the people or splitting the church, I will be speaking out like you guys are speaking out. Do you feel like that there are people that are there that are enabling his behavior?
Who you want to answer that?
Okay, I want to start with you, Raymona, and then we're going to go to Ralencia. I'm sorry.
Definitely much so. I mean, how does one man get away with this for 10 years that I've been there? Definitely much so. That's on my video, excuse me, when I said, he has his little peons, that's exactly what I meant. There are a lot of people that is in leadership that has enabled him, and I think it's because of manipulation. And to just be totally honest, even though he's a little man, he puts a lot of fear in a lot of people. And I think it's because he wears his name Bishop as he is the Lord. And people cater to him as such. And I guess that's what divides me from them being in leadership. Because I'm not going to stand for someone that looks at himself as God, because now that's idolizing. And a lot of the people that are in leadership, they do that. They lie for him. They cover his mess up. They want to brush it under the rug. They want to put their blinders on. They don't want to see it even though it's going on. And because of that, the church is hurting. And people are scared to speak out, and that's where I fall into place.
Okay, now Ralencia, who do you think? I mean, if y'all want to call names, you can. Who do you think in the church is supporting his behavior and really enabling him?
First, I agree with Raymona, because there are people in leadership who does enable him with things that's going on, and who's been a part of the problem, who has been a part of the issue with even the things of his past and knew about it and didn't say anything because they kept that whole quote unquote, he's just a man. We have to pray for him. We have to uplift him, and we have to cover him, and he continues to pacify him. And in my eyes view of not being in leadership, I question that. Like, okay, how can I speak out? How can I find this? Because certain things, as being a part of the flock, we don't have the access to. We don't have access to those things that, an elder or a leader or a deacon or even a secretary or assistant pastor or, any of those people. We don't have that access. We come in and get the word of God and worship and, and we pray together and love on each other. And that's the part of the platform that I'm a part of. So from that eye's view, I just feel like certain people in leadership are aware of it. They just don't say nothing because they're scared, because he's helping them in some kind of way. I'm not sure, but if you don't speak out and stand firm on what you know God has placed you in, not what Bishop as a messenger of God's word has placed you in, because as my sister said, he's not God. And they have to remember that, and they're not standing on that, and they're not moving in that platform.
Well, see, this is the reason why, and on this show, usually I tell people all the time, don't call on my show, don't call names. I even hung up on people for doing that. But in this situation, I think it is appropriate. The church is suffering, and you guys are suffering, and it cannot be just Victor Couzens that is causing this church to suffer. There has to be a team and a league of people that are in place who are keeping this sickness, this whatever you want to call it, in place. It just cannot be one man. Now, I do know that a lot of churches set up their churches now to where the way that the articles of incorporation, the bylaws are, and the board is set up that really nobody can check the pastor. So I want to know who's on the board there. Who's the board of the trustees? Who are the people that need to be called on the carpet along with Victor, who's keeping you guys' church dwindling and suffering?
Who do you want to answer that?
Raymona, since you're in leadership, you would know, I'm thinking.
So, you would think that there would be a board, and you would think that there would be other people. But let me tell you what Mr. Victor did, because he is no longer Bishop in my eyesight. So he's Victor to me. Victor, because of the whole sex scandal that took place last year between the wife and the ex, he went and had the bylaws changed. He had some new bylaws put into place, and he had the church changed from Inspirational Baptist Church to Inspirational Bible Church, which made him the only person to be over the bylaws. When he was confronted about it, he said that he had a spiritual board member team, and no one knows who that is.
Hold on. You saying that he has a spiritual board?
Mm-hmm. That's what he said.
Okay, when I looked,
he had a spiritual board.
when I looked it up, I only saw where he was the only agent. How'd that work? That he's only the only agent?
Because that's when he went and changed the old bylaws to the new bylaws. But then we just found out recently, because we had to go into doing some more digging so that we could proceed with this vote. Last Sunday, a survey went out while everybody was in church, and a survey went out and was just hitting everybody's phones, text messages, emails, and the survey was asking questions first about, do you think Victor is a good leader? Do you think he should be in leadership? Do you think he should be the bishop? Do you think he should remain, or do you think he should sit down? And the majority voted for him to sit down. With that being in place, it raised some eyebrows where the administrative team started to look into the bylaws a little bit more. And we found out that we are still under the old bylaws, and that's why now he can be voted
that
out.
Is superb.
Now,
Hold on, let's celebrate that. And that is wonderful. And for those of you that do not know, you're not in Patreon, so you don't know what in the whole hell in the heaven that she's talking about. But there was an email that was sent out. I saw the letter that was given to the members on Sunday morning. I'm so thankful for those of you that are there, that are in the situation, that don't mind sharing with me and the patrons. Just so you guys can know how that went after the email went out. this is what the results were. Are you a current active partner in ministry? Of course, they voted there. They said, are you currently happy with Bishop Dr. Victor S. Couzens as the leader of this ministry? And it was a whopping 86.8% of the people said no, of the people that actually took the survey. 86.8% said no, they are not. They said, prior to your leaving, did you participate in ministries? Okay, so they were even trying to find out who left. And most of these people that left, they were actually participating. 72.7% of them were participating in ministry. And 81.1% of them actually were financially contributing. So this will also explain why the church is so far behind, because the people who are disgruntled and were paying money to the church, that these people have left. They say if Bishop Couzens remains and continues leading as senior pastor of Inspirational Bible Church, I will. And 28.8% said that they will leave, and 56.1% said they will not return to the ministry. Only 15% said they will continue worshiping. So, and then, I forgot. I didn't see this. It said, it said, I believe that the governing board of elders should do the following. Vote to remove. This is 86.4%. Vote to remove Bishop Couzens as the senior pastor. Now, see, this is the reason why I asked about the board, the people that were in place, and is because if you guys are still up under the old bylaws, then it takes a 80%. It takes only I think it takes a 80% vote to get them out. A 80-20. Is that correct, or have you heard something of that nature?
I believe that is correct. But the members that's on the board with the old bylaws goes all the way back to when IBC was on Daily Road. So these members are the older people of the church who is very much tired of his mess, who was also some that got up and walked out. Now we're talking about members that are in their 60s and 70s, and that's why I'm not going to say their name, because they are the elders of the church, and they hold the vote. So we really is talking about Cincinnati of Greenleaf.
Well, wow. Okay, I got this. So the reason why you won't say the name called their elders, I totally respect that. Now, Ralencia, in your Facebook video, something that a question that you raised and that you kept raising that I thought was very interesting, especially from the pew view. From the pew view, you said you have lost respect. From the pew view, you said that you feel as though that you're having to suffer as a result of his personal life choices, and the church is having to suffer as a result. And you just feel like, that he's just not handling things right. You didn't know who the wife was, and you just met her this Sunday, and you've been with her for a whole year. From the pew view, you lost trust in your leadership. Talk to us a little bit about that.
What I mean about I lost trust in him as my covering, because I made a statement in my live when I spoke about the uncommon, okay? And what I mean by that is that the uncommon is me. I have nails. Y'all see I got nails on my hand.
90 seconds.
I'm a very boisterous person. I am not a seasoned saint. I am a reborn saint. So that's what I mean about uncommon. Because people who have a disposition or that look like me, they don't expect for me to be a part of the mind ministry, to be able to speak in tongues, to be able to pray you through the roof. They don't expect a person of my caliber to be that
60 seconds.
That type of person to know God as much as I know God, because they don't believe it just because of what they look at. So that's what I mean by the uncommon, because I am a part of that person in the pew, in the flock, who have, seen those things and have been in dialogue and with the other people in the church, and who is the usher, part of the usher board, who are very involved with the people. That's who I represent, and that's who I am, because I'm a part of that community. I'm a part of that community. You know, I've been a greeter at the church a few times, so I interact with the people a lot. So when you interact with the people and they see you and they gravitate to you,
10 seconds.
and you have a pastor and a leader who, you know, you will hope that would show you with a different light when you've come from a place, from a sunken place. And I represent that person because I came from a sunken place. I wasn't raised up in the church, you know, so I'm not part of the leadership. I'm just a woman of God who is trying to learn who she is and continue to learn about her position and to claim her purpose and her calling. That's where I am. So I represent that. So when my position is with Victor and why I'm upset with him, it's because I trusted you with my spirit, you know, and when I need somebody to pray over me during those times when I had those bondage and shame and all those things that I progressed in my walk, and I shared those with you and you prayed with me, I trusted you with my heart. I trusted you with my being. I trusted you with my growth. And since you have displayed this type of thing, and when I try to be an example and to be a disciple for God and go out into the world and show others and show my friends and people who don't like me because of my change or who do not accept me for my change, and when they see those things, and they like, okay, well, listen, we like, and we can tell that you're growing. It's not like, where do you go to church at? Oh, I go to IBC. Oh, I ain't going there. That hurts me as a partner and as part of the flock because I can't bring those souls in. So how can I do those things and my leader is being just a part of the things I'm trying to leave behind? You're supposed to be at a great example, and you're not doing it. That's why I don't respect him. That's why I don't look to him in that way. That's why I don't look to him as my bishop, my pastor. I don't have a respect for him. I look to him as a man. And that whole quote, he's just a man, that's how I look at you. You are just a man now to me. You're not Bishop Victor as cousin to me anymore. You're Victor. I was always going to respect. Go ahead, Larry.
No, you can go ahead. You finish. You said you always taught to respect.
I was always taught to respect others, and despite of where they come from and who they are, until I have an understanding and know who they are personally. So that's how I was raised. That's how my mother raised me. And until I seen different about him, and now that I see different about him, that's why I made that statement, because I don't respect him now, because now I see and now I know who he is. And that's how I view the whole situation him as a person.
When you said, I trusted you with my spirit, that resonates a certain way. I feel that a certain way in my body. So whenever that happens to me, that lets me know I'm getting to the root of what I need to be discussing, at least when it comes to you. You said, I trusted you with my spirit, and you broke my trust. So on some level, do you feel like it's almost like you have been spiritually manipulated and tricked or duped?
I don't feel like I've been tricked or duped, but I'm disappointed in him, and I don't feel manipulated because I lean onto God for everything that I do. And I've learned that I don't lean on man at all. That's why I said in my life that a lot of people was asking me, you know, how did you not see this? And you've been there since 2008 and all that, because that was not where my mindset was. I didn't come into IBC to know him. I came to hear the word, the message in the word, so that I can apply it to myself and grow within my spirituality. That was my goal. That was what my eyes was set on. That's the lane that I was in. Now, things have changed once I became more involved because I was around certain different things. So my view became different. So that's why I stated that I've noticed things that changed within the past year because my spirit was in a different place. So once my spirit was in a different place, he's my leader. So when I have things that I'm not sure about and I don't understand in my spiritual growth, I go to my leader and say, Bishop, this is where I am. Pray for me. Can you help me understand this? I don't understand that. When it comes to the word of God, certain things in the word I didn't understand when I was learning and reading the word. So that's what I mean that as far as my spirit. Because that's where my covering and my growth came from. Because when those situations came within my growth, that's how I was able to get some understanding on top of my own time with God.
I got it. And then also another thing that you said as far as trying to get people to come to church, people you've been a light to, and you're trying to bring them to where your spiritual nexus and your spiritual community is, and they're like, no, I definitely don't want to go to that church because you're pastor XYZ. I understand that. Raymona, I want to ask you, as it relates to,
Yes.
and maybe if I feel like I'm prying, then let me know. I want to know as it relates to. There's been some rumors as far as one of the main things that the bank has a problem with when it comes to the victor is his financial practices. Now on this show, I'm going to put him in Patreon tonight, but on this show I put a lot of I think just a couple of checks up that were written out of Inspirational Baptist or Bible Church account to certain women. And what I want to know, are you aware of those, or at least have heard some kind of talking concerning those practices? And are those the actual practices that the bank is referring to in that email that they sent Bishop Davis?
So the what they are pretty much referring to, what the banks are referring to as far as the finances are concerned. We went in 2017 because we had 2,800 members. The more members you have, the more tithing you're going to have. So we went from, I think in the year of 2017, we brought in close to $2 million in the year. To now, as of, I believe, just this month, maybe we've only brought in like 10,000. For the year for this year, we've only brought in a rough 55 to maybe 60,000. Our mortgage for IBC is close to 24,000 a month. So when you do the math on that, if we only brought in close to 60,000, that's pretty much only 2 mortgages for the whole year. That's only 2 months worth of mortgage for the whole year. That's where the struggle comes in. We do not have the money to finance our church because we have lost members. And like I said on my live, that is God's house. But the congregation withholds up the church. So when you have people saying, oh, I'm not paying my tithe because I don't want the pastor to live off the money, that's why they say those kind of quotes, is because what we're going through right now. The money is supposed to go towards the church to withhold the church. There's electricity, then you have to clean the church. You have to, our church is huge. It's not no little small church. So our gas and electric bill alone for a month is about $9,000 to $10,000. Our water bill is probably around $5,000. So when you break that term down on top of mortgage, we're not making the mortgage. So a lot of money is just being pulled from other avenues in order for us to have a place to come and worship and praise God and fellowship. That's why the bank said the only way that we will survive as a church is if Bishop steps down. We need new leadership. They know that his leadership is the reason why we are losing our finances. We brought in nearly 560,000 for the year. 560,000 for the year. I'm sorry, I want to correct myself. It wasn't 60,000, it was 560,000 that we brought in for this year. That's not even half to what we need. And we're being in about 40,000. We need about 40,000 a month in order for us to maintain all of our bills. And since we're not meeting that, our church is in jeopardy. And that was that's why we need to vote. That's why this man needs to be out, because Victor don't own the church. Actually, the congregation owns the church outside of the bank. Church belongs to the congregation. The church don't belong to the pastor. It's a nonprofit organization. It's not for profit. And that's where a lot of people get misconstrued and really don't understand how this thing goes. And that's why tithing is so important. You're paying your tithes to God's house. You're not paying your tithes to the bishop. But unfortunately, our pastor, ex-pastor, Victor Couzens, thinks that the money's supposed to go to him. And that's why he gets that 39% off the top. And that's why he goes in and he really gets about 600,000. I mean, I'm sorry, not 600,000, but he gets about 100,000 a year. So this is a six-figure man. And nothing is happening. Our church is struggling while you are on sabbatical for 60 days. You're on sabbatical for 60 days because we got the letter in August. He took sabbatical in October.
Now, when he took the sabbatical, he put in there.
When I said we got the letter in August, I'm talking about the letter saying that we were struggling and we needed to either come up with $4 million by December 31st, and if we don't, we will lose our church. So that's why in August we put our church up for sale for about $8 million, hoping that, okay, if we don't get the $4 million, at least we could sell the church, take $4 million, pay the bank off, take the other $4 million, and go somewhere else and start over. But now it's come to where that's not even an option anymore.
Yeah, that's what I was just sitting here thinking with the numbers that you put out. And I know some of them may be off because you may not be in that part of the church leadership. But stuff just isn't adding up financially with what the church needs and what's bringing in. And you say he was on sabbatical. Now, is it true? And I don't have any proof, and I don't expect you to have any proof. But has there been any speculation that since he was on sabbatical that he was getting $10,000 loans, $5,000 loans, $20,000 loans as he was out traveling and with his wife?
That did come across my little imaginary desk. It had came to my attention that there was that he had took out a $20,000 loan. And out of that, I think it was either $20,000 or $22,000 loan. And out of that loan, I think like $18,000 of it went towards him while he was on sabbatical. And then the other, $4,000 went to the church. Now, the loan that he took out was in the name of the church. So he is still taking out loans in the name of IBC, but he's using it for his own personal preference. Now, if you can still take out $20,000 loans, don't you think that it would be more wise and more of leadership and more of good pastoring for you to give the church, when I say us, I'm talking about the congregation, the church, the $18,000 to go towards the building, and then you take the $4,000 if you wanted to take anything off top. And that's why, the bank has lost their trust in him and the confidence in his leadership and the ability to turn the church around, because he continues to do things that is outside of a man that is a leader and is over a lot of people in leadership.
It was
So
Ralencia.
that's the whole.
It was Ralencia that made a statement that I want to make sure I get in this. And I'm sorry for interrupting you, but it was Ralencia that made a statement that Bishop Davis was sitting in the congregation on this Sunday when he came back from the sabbatical, from that he was on with his wife. And I totally understand him wanting to repair that relationship, because I was on the backside of that entire ordeal over the past 3 or 4 months when Abby was kicked up out of the house and didn't have nowhere to go and was staying between 2 and 3 different houses. Now, the thing that she said, him sitting in the audience, I had also heard, and notice what I said about the $20,000. What she said about $20,000, we don't have any evidence of it. This is just the story. So this could not be true. It's just the story. Now, this is what I heard as well that I don't have any receipts for, is that the executive pastor, which was elected in, that he put in while he was gone and going to Florida, which I had heard he was going to start a whole nother church there. In fact, one of the ladies, his lovers, I actually have the letter and the email and the whole application she typed up for him to go to another church about 1.5 years ago he was trying to get, because of, the money going down and the members going, that he had plans to leave anyway. So I do know about that. It was said, Ralencia said that Davis was sitting in the audience. Did you hear that the victor was upset with Davis because he was sharing too much with the members of what was going on financially with the church in an effort to get them to give and really to get to trust the leadership again? Victor felt like that he overstepped and shared too much, and as a result, he's about to receive or has received his walking papers. Do either one of you, Ralencia, do you know anything about that, Ralencia?
I don't know too much about it, but what I do know is that I know Bishop Davis did share lots of things that he needed to share with us, what we needed to know, that he felt like he wanted to be transparent about, because he was very specific about being transparent with the congregation and being frank with us as far as the finances, because we did have a family meeting. And he did talk about those things and let us know, referring to what Mona was saying about what the bank said or whatever. But that's what led up to my first live that I did, because the flock didn't get any answers after that. So I was coming in from my point of view, like, okay, so we know what we need to do, and we know what happened, what may not happen. So what's going to happen? Because there was a lot of things up in the air. So we wasn't for sure what was right or what was wrong or whatever. So Bishop Davis was trying to do his best to keep the congregation and keep the trust of the congregation. So I'm not sure of the other antics that you were speaking of and how all that went in play. I just know that from my point of view, that we were trying to figure out after we had that family meeting what's next.
Has Bishop Davis actually secured the church and made, from the pew view, I'm asking you that, Ralencia, has he sort of made you guys feel more comfortable and more like, has sort of secured you guys?
He has done a great job doing that. As far as everything now, when we got the text message, as far as the people voting or whatever. So I wasn't in attendance, so I don't know if he said the exact words to everybody. I just heard some things after the fact, and he shared that with everybody when we all walked up and walked out. So I already made up in my mind what I was going to do, but that I wasn't going to stay if Bishop came back when we had the family meeting. I already knew then that I wasn't going to stay then. I just wasn't sure what my other family was feeling about it, so I was really trying to fill out everybody else. But I was already on the fence of leaving at that point in time. So when we had when we all up and left, and we all had a conversation, he explained that then. So I don't know if it was said to us prior then. I'm not sure about that at all. I can't really speak on that part.
Let me chime in on that. So because I was present at I was present at every family meeting. I was even present the day that he brought Bishop Davis in on a Tuesday during Bible study and introduced him for the very first time. Since that time, Bishop Davis was hired by Couzens as the executive pastor. And the reason why he was hired as the executive pastor, because he is very business savvy and he's an educator on top of being a bishop. So that is something that Bishop Couzens does not have. So when he went to, and I do want the record to know, let the record show that Bishop Couzens went and contacted Bishop Davis to come in and take on, like I said, the executive administrative part of the business with the bank and the finances and everything like that. One, because Bishop Couzens was getting ready to go on sabbatical, and two, because he needed some help to try to iron some things out, smooth some things over. When Bishop Davis came in, he was very transparent with his background, who he was, where he came from, and what he came to do. Very direct with that. So from there, the trust began from the congregation with him. Since August, since he came into IBC, that's all that he has ever been. Is very transparent, very straightforward, straight to the point, and no beating around the bush, holding more meetings that we have ever had this year since Couzens have, been back from his sex scandal. So in these family meetings, we were giving flow charts. We was shown how we went from money from 2017 up to now. That's why I was able to discuss that with you all, because that was something that was given to us in these family meetings. We had actual visuals of this. And during one of the meetings, Bishop Couzens, while on sabbatical and supposed to be resting due to whatever the case may be, he came on a Skype call to the congregation during our business meeting, where he wasn't even supposed to be involved in, and tried to give us 5 pillar points on how we should start tithing more, how we should start doing a extra debt elimination. So on top of your tithing, he wanted you to give an extra $250 on top of your tithing. So if you're tithing once a week $100 or $150, and now he's asking extra $250, you're starting to wonder what's really going on here. And we were all just kind of in a maze, like, you're on sabbatical, and here it is, you're coming in on a conference call to ask us for more money while you're on sabbatical. So that kind of raised some eyebrows, and then the congregation started to look into a little more depth. Where's our money going? And then that's when Bishop Davis started getting phone calls. And the phone calls, the congregation, the members started asking him, where's our money going? What is going on? And Bishop Davis, like I said, has always been very transparent and very upfront with the congregation. And that's where a lot of people gravitated more to him and started pushing more away from Couzens, because it's like, okay, we're being railroaded here. Now, from what I was told, once Bishop Davis received the letter from the bank, he went down to Miami and met with Bishop Couzens. And from another party, what I was told was that during their meeting, Bishop Couzens called the bank and tried to manipulate the bank, and then told Davis, I'm not stepping down. I refuse to step down. So now you got a man that is being a little more pompous, because he just feels like and he's coming from Miami with this. And he just feels like he's just going to continue to do what he wants to do. And that's really where we are. Where I am with all of this, and where my compassion and my hurt and my pain comes in at first is for the members of the church. We have members at our church that are 85, close to 90 years old, that cannot pick up and go to another church. So when you got a lot of people coming on these comments saying, well, why don't y'all just leave? Why don't y'all just start another church? We have invested our money into this church. So if you are in your own home and you own your own home, and if something's not going right with your home, do you just pick up and leave? No, you're going to fix it because your investment. So when there's an investment, you don't just up and leave. And when I was there for the past 10 years that I have been there, I came to IBC in 2009. In 2009, I was 35 years old. I'm now 45. So at 35 years old, I was coming from a broken place. And I wasn't thinking about what the bishop was doing. I was trying to restore my soul and be delivered with what I was going through. So I wasn't paying attention with what was going on there. I'm a single mom, so I'm trying to get my life together. I had just recently came home from prison and, in school, trying to get my whole life done. So I was coming from a place of not trying to be nosy and figure out what everything is going on with everybody else. I was only concerned about my salvation. Now that I am more mature in my spirit and more into leadership and more into the business aspect of what's going on at IBC, because I do have my business degree, and that's why I can understand this a little bit more. We are at a place where this man has done so much, but we can restore from this. This man is trying to rob the congregation of their voice. He's trying to manipulate, and he continues to manipulate. And I wanted to go back on a question that you had asked Ralencia, and I want to answer from my point of view. I feel like I've been manipulated. Matter of fact, not only do I feel it, I know it. I've been manipulated with the smiles. I've been manipulated with the way that he preached, because he's very good with his verbiage. He's very good with the way he preached that word of God. He's very articulate. He is transparent. He is also animated. So when you are captivated by someone that is so good with the way that they do things, because it's part of their habit-forming character, but it's also a part of their occupation, you are going to be put into a situation where it's like, every time I go to church, I feel good. Every time I go to church, he gives me that word. Why? Because he preaches off of the broken. So when you go into the church, you're like, oh, he's talking to me. You get captivated by that. You get drawn in by that. So I just want people to understand that once I found out how he was coming with his narcissistic behavior, and the manipulation of other people that I've spoken to, and how, they express their experience, I said, you know what, my God, this man is doing this to everybody in here in his own special way. He's very clever. Very clever, very smart, very resourceful, very intelligent, and on top of that, he's a bishop. And that's why everybody has been drawn in.
I think you just hit the nail on the head and really took us to another area. We heard from Ralencia how she felt like she trusted him with his spirit, and then you say you felt manipulated, and then you began to explain the manipulation. The manipulation, which actually is how a narcissist casts their spell on you, because they're very charismatic, savvy, and you really was drawn in by how he does what he does, because that's his gift and that's what it do. But in this character, he's this apparently or allegedly this hideous, horrible selfish, rude, insensitive person. Now, the crystal room, the people went over there to the crystal room before service to sort of organize and say, still give your money, but we're going, so that the people that are employed, I put that letter in Patreon as well, so people employed can still, get their check, but at the same time, we're going to get Victor out of here. Then after church, they went back to the crystal room, and then there's supposed to be a voting on January the 4th between 10:30 and 11:30 at the crystal room to get him out. Now, this is what I want to know. I don't know if I'll need you to even answer it. I just need to say it. How effective you guys really think that's going to be? Because if this man is as he is, then I say what should happen January the 4th, there should be a reorganization of the church under a new leadership or under a group of leadership, and everybody should just go. And I do understand, God knows I do, when you make an investment into a church, and that's your family, that the location, the ground, all of that means so much just to your brain. There's certain chemicals that start flowing the closer you get there. When you drive and pull up there, you start taking off your week. You're going to there seeing faces you haven't seen since the last time you came. There's certain chemical releases that are happening in your body that's making you happier, 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 happier. You're about the moment. I get the tie that happens to in that space. I totally understand it. So I know why. I know it's difficult, but in this situation, it's like he's sort of leaving you guys with no choice, because I don't see this man walking away. What do you have to say about that, Ralencia?
Hello?
Ralencia, is she gone? Look at her.
Ralencia?
Oh, no, she did. Her call to drop, and she can't call back in because the way that we got the thing. Yep, her call dropped. Okay, what you got to say to that, Raymona? Maybe you can call her on throughway on your phone.
So you were saying, as far as
the voting on this Saturday.
Are they going to be effective? I believe that the votes will be very effective. One, that was my main reason for coming on yesterday and just live, is because letters have been out prior to that we were going to vote on January the 4th at IBC. At that time that those letters went out, Bishop Couzens was still currently traveling from Jamaica to Cincinnati. So once he got to Cincinnati and found out what we were getting ready to do, he had administrative send out another letter saying that the letter was, it was a bogus letter. There will not be any voting going on at the church. Disregard.
Wow.
That's why I came on to explain that voting is going to continue to take place, and it's taking place, at the Crystal Room, which is next door. The Crystal Room A is not a nightclub. The Crystal Room A is not attached to IBC. The Crystal Room is it's like a hall. It's a place, a reception hall that you can rent out. And we have rented that out to have these votes there on January the 4th at 10:30 on this coming Saturday. We have also, to keep it non-biased, we have also called someone else that is not a member of IBC and that is not on staff of IBC to count the ballot. So, yes, I do believe after me being on your show and after me being on, what's his name, the Jive guy or whoever, and this just really going viral with the support that I have, I do believe that it will be effective. I do plan on having a huge turnout. We plan on, just really coming together, fellowshipping, voting him out between the hours of 10:30 to 11:30. Channel 5 News and Channel 12 News have gotten a snippet of what's going on. So with that, I believe it's going to be very effective. I believe we're probably going to have more than enough ballots to get him voted out. And, we just going to continue to allow God to be in the midst of what's going on with IBC.
And that's what I'm hoping. Ralencia just texted me and told me that she just got cut off. She don't know what happened. So we're going to leave it here for now. But hopefully, at one point, there were over 3,000 people watching us live. The video I posted to the Facebook page, last I looked at it, was almost 80,000 views, and that's in a day. Same thing with Ralencia. I think within a couple hours, her views were 10,000. So it's getting around to people. Hopefully, former members will show up that still have their voting rights if they have given within the last 6 months. I don't know how it is in Ohio, but I know the way I ran my church, if you didn't give in the last 6 months, you still a member, but you go inactive. And after 12 months, you
are still a current member. All active members are new members, old members, and current members. So new members is anybody that, just became a member within the past, 30 days. Current members is anybody in between the old members from 10 years and beyond that. So if you are a member and you are still active meaning you are still paying your tithe, you are still, doing something as far as IBC is concerned. If not, your ballot can still be counted in.
Oh, okay.
We're also working on an online ballot, and we're working on absentee ballot. So if you live outside of the greater Cincinnati area, and you can't get here, absentee ballots will be available for you. And once again, if you are not, if you don't have any type of transportation and you cannot get to the Crystal Room, I believe online ballots, they're working on that. I just want to say that what we are doing has everything to do with the power of God. I just want everyone to know that if you have ever wanted to have a voice due to what Bishop Couzens have been doing, now is your chance to have that voice. I encourage you to come out and vote this man out of the house of the Lord because he is misusing it. And that's pretty much how I want to say. Oh, I do want to say one thing, though. One thing. Me being an author and a leader and doing all the things that I do, I am a woman of class and I'm a woman of God. I am not one of the women that Victor had a relationship with in any way, shape, form, or fashion. We have never been in any type of sexual, personal relationships. I am doing what I am doing because I am a woman of God and I stand behind the word and the will of the Lord. It does not have anything to do with lusting and adultery. See, when you are in the word of God and you are filled with the Holy Spirit, you step out on the steps that are ordained for you. You don't need to have a reason to step up for people. You don't need to have a reason to have a passion for people or to have a purpose or a calling on your life. If you love God and you know God loves you, you're going to love his people. Therefore, you're going to do what you have to do in order to do the will of the Lord for God's people, because that's what a true servant is. So all of these little simple-minded people that have been posting and commenting, oh, she's probably having sex. No, sweetie, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad that you said that because I've said that in the comments on your behalf, but it's better coming from you. Can you answer? I think she's calling you on the other line. I want to close out with both of you guys. Is she answering?
Let's see if I catch her in.
Okay. Okay, while she's doing that, I want to say to each and every one of you that are both of you here now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great. I didn't want to close out, and both of you were not here. This is what I want to ask you guys. If the voting process does not work and he's still going to be in the pulpit, you said I heard that he changed the locks to the church. What would be your next steps if the voting does not work? I want to hear from both of you guys.
Ralencia, you can go first. I just got finished talking.
If the voting doesn't work, I will not return back to IBC.
If the voting does not go into the favor of the church, there will be no church. So Bishop won't even have a place he won't even have a place to go himself, even though he just changed those locks. Them locks are going to get changed by the bank, because as of January the 9th, if he does not step down as leadership, and I think that's where a lot of people is forgetting that's the big point. That's the big problem and the main point of this. We don't have another option. Neither does he. Our option is get a new leader. You keep your church. His option is you got to retire regardless. Either you're going to retire on your own and keep the church for the people,
we're going to make you retire.
or either we're going to retire you because we taking the church. We're the bank. You owe us $4 million. So if Bishop stays, there is no church. So
there's no church
to go. So there is nobody will have a place to go. So the question is this: if you IBC members do not vote, you're not going to have a place.
You're not going to have no place to go.
That's the whole point and the whole process of the preparation to this message. If you IBC members do not come out and vote this man out of the congregation as pastor, you won't have a church home either. As of January 9th, the church is going into foreclosure. And because he manipulated the church, he manipulated the bank, they're pissed. Excuse my language. So they may go into foreclosure within the next 30 days because they're fed up. If he does step down, they're willing to work with us. There's a forbearance already in place. There's lenders already in place. There's someone that we can go to as leadership to lead the flock and to vote someone else in. So see, we've done our part. But if you don't come out and do your part, it's over. It's not over just for me and her. It's over for
everybody
that are still there. It's over. So those locks that he's changed, he did it for nothing. If he don't step down, the bank gonna come and change them on their own. And with that, I don't have nothing else to say. Come out and vote. Come out and vote. Save
next Saturday.
Save IBC.
All right. So you've heard from Ralencia Jackson and also Raymona. I think I'm saying the name right. Felder. Thank you guys for coming on the show and allowing this platform to
thank you for having us.
Yeah, and allowing this platform to amplify your voice and your calls. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Larry.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Larry.
You're welcome. All right, so if they're continuing to listen, I get in contact with them. I want to know what's going on with this, and keep us posted if you guys reorganize and start another church and however we can help. So I saw somebody in the chat say, Larry going to ask us to give the church CashApp. No, I'm not, because I don't know what's going on with the money. I don't know. I wouldn't give $2 over there to the IBNNetwork. I know Larry would not. So I would need to know what's going on. I would rather see them just totally get out of all of that, walk away and just reorganize. There's 300 people. That's a good medium-sized church. So 300 people, let's say half of them want to go and start a church, 150 people. You guys can do it in Cincinnati, Ohio, and do well. That's what I say, but that's just me. I'm one of them kind of people. If you got a whole lot of bullshit going on, then I'm going to work with you a little bit. I don't mind get into a little bit, but then if it's bye. And that's a forever fuck you. That's it. I don't be fooling them like that. So that's what I'd rather see them do. But it is, as it is. Pastors that are watching and ministers and preachers, we don't expect for you to be perfect. We do know that you are human. But when it gets to where people are being injured, okay, it maybe time for you to pull back and let somebody else step in and do something different. This just really should not be happening like this. And for those of you that said that these women should not spoke out, yes, they should have. And I'm wondering, where are the niggas? How come ain't no dudes spoke out? What is so wrong with us? It's like maybe there's a good buddy club. What's it called? Good old boy club, what do you call it? To where we all in the, I ain't gonna say we, y'all all in the church doing the same kind of bull. So y'all protect each other. And these women who really love God, y'all know women live better than men. It take us, we got a few of us that live right. And the ones that do live right, we a little strange. And we probably got to stay pressed in the spirit a lot. Because it's for a dude to live holy, these women live holy before we do. So maybe that's what the problem is. There ain't no holy man to speak out and say, yeah, that nigga wrong. But these women, they are doing it, and I'm glad that they are, because they are, in my opinion, the epitome of the victimized when it comes to the victor and IBC. And this clearly is not just a year and a half of this scandal. This thing been going on a while, because I heard somebody say, I have no receipts for this, that a man came in there with a gun, and was trying to assault him because he had slept with his wife. So this man has had a community ping has been an issue for the victim for a while. This ping is out of control. This is a whole problem. This man ping is out of control. So get a new pastor, get a new church. And I do understand that it's easy for me to say it, and it's not that easily done. But if all else fails, you may do yourself a good deed. Like Relentless Now, Baby Jakes and the Avenger, how they gonna walk up out and start all over again, fresh and new. Somebody done gave them $300,000 to go get them a place. That's what y'all need to do. Do that little vote thing over there at the Diamond Room. But if it don't work, at the Crystal Room. But if it don't work, it might not work because God don't want it to work. Gonna give you something else. Go that direction. All right, I've been on too long, so I'm not gonna take no calls. Tomorrow I may come on and do the best of 2019. I might. I don't know. This may be the last show of the whole year. But you need to come over there and Patreon, because it don't stop. We're going out through it the rest of the year. Thank you so much to all of you that have done super chats, cash apps, and went to LarryReidLive.com and supported this show. Also, before you leave, hit the like and share. And I will chat with you guys later on. We got a whole lot that's coming up this year. A new app is going to be finished by the end of the month, possibly by the end of the week. We're going to make sure we stay connected no matter what. All right. See you later. Bye-bye.
There ain't nowhere else I wanna be.